Yo, what's good, duelists? We have round 3, so we have Paulo versus Tyler and his Fire King Snake Eye versus
Tyler,
another
step
pure
one is
Snake Eye.
complete.
I was actually watching some of Paulo's
Well, at least you
streams,
get to play
and
some cards with an open
he
board, and
definitely knows what's up.
that you
Seems
can't
like a really
underestimate
good
sometimes how
player.
important that is. But some people would choose to go second, build
Yeah,
that going second deck.
so definitely
and really
check out
throw you off
Paulo's
your tempo.
streams where he just
Definitely.
reviews
But
matches.
it looks like Tyler is going to open up
He's
with that
definitely
turn one.
nice at this
Amazing
game.
starter.
He's
It's
playing
Snake
pure Snake Eye, which
Ash.
is interesting.
And Paulo
Effect
is forced
Veiler.
to use Effect Veiler on this. It
I told
opens
you,
it
I
up
like
to
that
triple
card.
Tactics Talent. It's
Definitely
a very dangerous
very
card
good.
to use because it is a monster effect after all. And we have Kieran. Oh, there's the follow-up. You can now destroy it. Now, Effect Veiler will not negate the Snake Eye Ash, and we get to summon out the Kieran, and the Ash will resolve normally. And you
That like literally never happens where I get to activate the Fire King Kieran in response to an Effect Veiler on Snake Eye Ash. Definitely just the most broken thing possible because that Veiler was just so bad. But I do still think Veiler on Ash is pretty strong. Almost as good as Imperm. We see that he's main decking Nib. After looking through his deck.
Xyz Garunix in your extra deck, there's like a way you can do a full combo to where you make the Xyz Garunix. Well, first you have to spell summon the Grunix with the Kieran effect, not by his own effect. You make the Xyz Garunix, you detach the Garunix to destroy your Fire King Island. You protect your island with Sanctuary, so it destroys your Garunix. And then your Garunix is going to summon back Arvata. And since the Fire was monster destroyed, you summon back the Garunix again. It's kind of a cool play. We probably won't see it here, but let's go ahead and jump back into the game. Triple tap.
Yo, and that's why we see that Effect Veiler is almost as good as Imperm because it does play into triple tactics talents. We see Snake Eye Ash, Nibiru, Divine Temple, and Birch. I'm probably hitting the Snake Eye Ash for sure. I feel like I can just play around the Nibiru. I guess maybe he couldn't play around Nibiru. Because, I mean, he did lose his Snake Eye Ash, but he does have Original in hand. Original would just play into the Nibiru by itself. Yeah, maybe you do just hit Nibiru. I also saw that he has Ash Blossom in his hand, so you could just Ash Blossom on the Snake Eye Ash and probably be fine. Probably use Ash Blossom on the second effect.
Use it. That's definitely one of the questions people are going to be exploring as this format grows and evolves. But now it looks like Tyler is looking to his extra deck. He's going to link away that Poplar for Link Karibo. So now the Poplar will be able to go to that spell and trap card zone.
So don't you think that Link Karibo is the enabler of all of these plays?
Link
No.
cards are good.
Link Karibo doesn't even really matter here. I probably wouldn't have made Link Karibo here. I probably would have just linked into either an IP or Sunlight Wolf. Probably IP Masquerena. No, probably not IP because I'm getting Ponex, but I could just special summon the Ash back with Promethean Princess and then use its second effect. That's probably going to be my goal here after I special the Ponex. I just hate Link Karibo being right here and taking up that slot. Like, Link Karibo is so annoying. So pretty much all you can do when Link Karibo is in this spot is make Promethean Princess with like 3 monsters, or just make the IP down here and then make Princess with the Link Karibo. But you can make Link Karibo like at any point, right? We could have just done it with the Ponex. And now, like, if you want the extra monster, you would have to link off either your... So this is why you should have just made Sunlight Wolf. Because if you make Sunlight Wolf with the Kieran and the Poplar, he could have, special the Ponex, and then he could have added back his Kieran. Then he could have just linked off the Ponex and the Sunlight Wolf into a Promethean Princess. Then he just destroys something from hand. Maybe even the Ash Blossom. It's just like, yeah. I don't know. This Link Karibo just looks awkward.
Choose to play. And the thing is, it feels like you're sharing your deck with your opponent, especially in this mirror match when you have the Charmers.
He's doing it! This is what I'm talking about.
Here we go.
If he does the play I just described, I would be blown away because I haven't seen anyone really focusing on this play at all.
So with the SP,
Yeah, I don't even think this play's that cool. I think the shit I said was way cooler.
He's doing it. This. If he summons,
That'd be real.
Kieran's effect, it's it. He's doing the play that I was describing. That's wild. Oh nope, he's gonna add Kieran. Maybe he already has. He has to have Gurnix already.
That has to be it. That has to be it. Otherwise, this play won't go anywhere far.
So you just pop the Kieran on field.
The Kieran in your hand.
Yo, what is going on? I feel like...
There it is. Yeah, there it is.
Oh, he opened Grunix. I was about to... Maybe this play makes sense now.
I
feel like it doesn't, but...
He's doing both. Dang, he's not doing
your play.
Arvata's gonna get the Kieran.
But instead, the Ponex is gonna come down.
I'm assuming Billy's play was just banishing his own Snake Eye's Ash or something.
It's a very interesting choice here. The Arvada likely is going to be summoned at some point during this turn or the next.
I don't
And
know.
people need to play these monster negates. They have to play it now. That's why a lot of people would
This
maybe choose.
I really hope he doesn't misplay. And I pray to God, bro, that he doesn't misplay and summon back the Arvada off this
If
princess.
you leave too many fires,
If he summons the Arvada off this
People
princess,
so
I'm gonna
scared
lose it.
probably that they'll link away their Ambo for Atlantis just to get that
Yes,
fire monster.
like thank God.
You're giving up a little bit.
I'm such a nerd for laughing like this. But the reason is just because, you know, if we could just get Flameberg here, and then Flameberg could really put the Arvada in the spell and trap zone if we want it that bad, which I've done a lot. So always remember that if your Ash gets Veilered, you can just summon it back and get the Flameberg and get the Arvada, rather than just specialing the Arvada because you think you can't get both. I feel like sometimes people just think that Flameberg can only target Link monsters. I've noticed.
It's pretty
So
cool.
when you push it over, you can also take it as well. He is gonna go from the.
He's probably gonna add
down
the Flameberg off this Sunlight Wolf.
There's many different ways you can go up the ladder, you can go down the ladder. You just need to know what you're doing.
Definitely. And those two monsters coming back. The Sunlight Wolf's going to be able to add back a monster. He's going to go for Flamebird's Dragon, probably. Since he already has a Kieran in hand, it's kind of dangerous, but if you're able to destroy the Flamebridge in your hand to summon Kieran, then you get to summon 2 more level 1s. Really good if you have something like IP Masquerena that you want to get a lot of materials for to make a giant Appaloosa during your opponent's turn. But at the same time, if you do that, the bigger your Appaloosa is, the more dangerous Triple Tactics Talent become.
I mean, you can shut down your entire hand because your opponent just got your Appaloosa.
Give me that. Now,
there's a lot of different ways that this can play out. We can go into like if we want to link Karibo, a fire, and a dark heat soul. It is
another weird read I feel like you can make, just random, is that if your opponent effect veilers on Ash, I usually assume they don't have Bell, because like in my experience, if you just hold Veiler and Bell forever, it's just so broken. So. But like for them to be playing both, they probably know that.
He's going to pay 1,000 life points here with Heat Soul to draw another card. With so many of those non-engine cards, those defensive cards that you can use from your hand, Heat Soul is really, really impactful this format. And then when you get into games 2 and 3,
and we know our opponent just has Snake Eyes Ash, Divine Temple.
That's how the opening play can differ from game to game.
And Birch.
There's no generic opening that you can always do.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Oh, he has to reposition the graveyard back to the top.
Yeah, that's...
I always forget
play,
that.
Like just without a mat a lot of times, sometimes you can get a little mismatch, but definitely want to have them set up the right way, especially when the zones are outlined so clearly on our remote dual game mat.
Yo, there's no graveyard picture, so give my homeboy a break, bro.
Monsters, taking 2 monsters, a link 3.
He's leaving. I mean, he's definitely going to link this Kieran off, so it is going to be the Amblowell as you described. So now he's maybe you still can have that extra draw from Heat Soul on the opponent's turn. The Amblowell can bring that Heat Soul back onto the field.
Just Kieran it off.
Just
and
makes
now
IP.
We also have the IP. Now this is very interesting. Now you have both the IP and the Heat Soul option.
And with that Flamebridge,
and we have the Flamebridge in our hand.
Just a second ago, you can destroy the Flamebridge in hand to summon the Kieran. Then you start worrying about having not enough monster zones to summon all these fire monsters during your opponent's turn.
That's pretty well played.
Monsters. I can't summon them all.
Bad problem. A good problem to have.
Exactly.
I like low-key wanted that Arvada. Wow, we have Nibiru too. There's no way Tyler's losing this game.
A skilled matchup like this between two,
it's just so good to go first. Like if you have 2 hand traps on top of this, because we know he has Ash Blossom too.
Oh yeah,
it's like there's no way you're
Even
losing.
Though you have a decent setup, the setup you're looking for turn 1, you definitely want to keep in mind like all those board breaking cards like Triple Tactics Thrust, Talents, Change of Heart, Snatch Shield can be impactful. But let's see, is it going to be... So this is great. So I like playing this in Fire King Snake Eye as well, because it is so good going first or second. So now if any point does Tyler special summon a monster to the field, or normal summon somehow during his bonus turn, he can special summon one of those monsters from his spell and trap card zone to the field.
This also sets it up like the previous game, previous round that we saw, Cam managed to put the Flamberge Dragon in the back and the Nibiru being summoned. Because your opponent summoned a monster, that Flamberge gets pushed back to the...
Another interesting thing is Tyler has SP in the grave, so I'm sure he wants to special back the SP with the Amblowell off the Kieran. And I don't think you care about Oak getting specialed right now, so I'd probably use my Kieran now, honestly. I feel like that'd be pretty nice. Oh, he decides not to. Just because the triggers actually line up, so the reason I would use Kieran now, you go Kieran, destroy Amblowell, Chain Link 1, you go Amblowell plus Garunix. You obviously don't even have to Grunix. And then you get to special the SP, and then Poplar happens on the same chain as Ambler Whale. Ambler Whale gets SP out. Now if he uses Poplar or the Divine Temple, we can just chain the SP to it. But maybe Tyler's just waiting to see his top deck, because we still don't know what he top decks yet. Or he's just playing like with his nib really safe. So I don't really care about like using my Kieran on Flameberg. Like that's not that important. I definitely feel like I want to get this SP out faster than later though.
Up with Diabellstar plus Poplar, you can use Poplar to get the field spell, while the Diabellstar can get the original Sinful Spoils. But you can't go the other way around, because
That's right.
Which only sets Sinful Spoils, while Snake Eye Poplar can add any Snake Eye spell or trap. All right, now we are considering. Looks like Tyler has nothing on resolution of adding the original Sinful Spoils from the deck to.
Like I definitely wanted. Another reason I want to play sooner than later is because I want there to not be another level 1 engrave for Oak to summon back when he uses Divine Temple. I mean, now we just destroy everything, right?
Other effect reason why it's so powerful: if you control a fire monster, you can just special summon it from your hand.
Who doesn't love a free fire monster?
Yeah, in this climate, I love it.
They're all just combusting out of nowhere.
Oh man. Birch, poplar, what are they, trees or something?
Yeah, they're all named after trees. They are named after, you know, the ash tree.
Yep, there you go.
I think this weekend we're gonna be saying ash is going to negate the ash.
Yeah, Matt, I have to say ash blossom.
Yeah, I definitely don't like Linkuriboh being on the field either.
Ash cards.
Possibly another body to play around anything.
Birch to summon Linkuriboh instead of the poplar, kind of interesting.
Like I feel like Paulo's just getting opportunities to win the game when he shouldn't be.
Put that poplar in the spell and trap card zone quite yet.
But this is holding back, just saving, just in case maybe there is an Ibiru. If you chain your cards right, after like the 5th summon,
then he uses Princess on the Linkuriboh.
IP chain link 1.
Now you don't get SP back off the Ambler Whale.
And dodge the tributing.
I don't know. Not really. I don't think so.
You
Yeah,
go chain link. Yeah, I don't think there is.
Yeah, no, they'll still. The Ibiru will just wipe it all out. But now that the princess is on the field, with
I guess he just gets Heat Soul back at least.
In hand to get the princess off the field, but you got to be careful, because once this happens, you're only able to summon fire monsters.
That I don't know if there's any effective fire monster when it comes to disrupting your
Nightmare
opponent.
Phoenix.
Nightmare Phoenix. You can destroy a spell and trap, but you're definitely not going into the Appaloosa. There is no SP, although the SP is already in the graveyard.
Yeah, it's like now we're just destroying Princess with Kieran.
Change the Divine Temple. Well, actually, that would be the other way around. But it looks
like it's also like the only real good card for our IP Masquerena to make is Appaloosa. So yeah, I don't know why we weren't doing stuff earlier.
Tyler with an additional draw.
Yep, and that Ambler Whale also represents a point of disruption in the graveyard. If a Link 3 or lower monster is destroyed while it's in the graveyard, he can banish it and destroy a card on the field. But the Divine Temple is going to summon out that snake.
If I'm Paulo right now, I'm trying to keep that princess on the field and trigger the IP Masquerena or bait the IP Masquerena. I wonder what Tyler does if Paulo just goes battle phase here to attack over the IP.
Pull your resources back as much as you can. Now,
I don't know. Tyler does have a lot of follow-up, though.
Out, you know, we have a little bit of a fire lock here, so Nibiru's not going to be an issue until that card kind of gets off of the field.
Yeah, and so he still has Garunix access, right, in his graveyard. Paulo's monsters, Snake Eye monsters, are also all a little bit bigger. Thanks to that field spell, they all gain 1,100 attack. So they go from
1,100.
1,100.
Okay.
They go from tiny little monsters to formidable, normal, regular-sized monsters.
Oh boy. Okay, we're gonna see the effect of Kieran come down. I think it is targeting the Promethean Princess. That is a link 3, so that's probably going to lead to another card triggering, like the Ambler Whale.
Yeah, he can destroy 2 cards. So the Ambler Whale can happen. The Garunix can destroy Kieran, so he can destroy another card. So that's 2 destructions, and he can summon back Arvata if he has it to have a monster negate as well.
Yeah, and what's interesting is both don't target.
To destroy as much as we can when it comes to stuff.
So you can't actually like chain Linkuriboh to dodge Ambler Whale or Kieran.
Those 2. Otherwise, that's going to be a lot of problems. And probably maybe even set up an additional negate if it's possible.
Yes, Garunix effect.
Garunix effect. Get a destroy card.
And Paulo still has original for Jet Synchron. I mean, it's just like I played against pure Snake Eye like so much, and I don't know. Not using your cards earlier seems really punishing. I mean, we're lucky because we knew Paulo's whole hand with talents, and I believe that's why. We also have 2 hand traps, so it's like there's no way we were losing this game. But I guess it's better for me to just say like good plays if you didn't have like everything.
With that first wave of Fire King, it's a card they got way later on. I think like Code of the Duelist or something.
Yep,
yeah,
much later.
And it didn't really have enough cards to bring it to the forefront. But now with a whole structure deck behind it and structure deck Fire Kings, it is having its time to shine. I always liked Fire Kings, and then when I saw Arvata, I was like, maybe there's a chance. Took 7 more years, but here we are. So it does look like he is going after the Oak with that first destruction effect. Now he looks like he's considering using IP here to go maybe into SP Little Knight.
SP would hurt. SP would hurt.
You would have to play 2 SPs because one's in the grave.
But, here's the thing about SP. Even if you do banish one of those Snake Eye monsters, just remember the Snake Eye can summon it back from the banish or from the graveyard. So it's like you're not really hitting everything. It seems like the deck just has, a finger in every pool.
Has great applications in Infernoids, actually, because you can use Decatron, send Decatron, banish the Decatron to summon another Infernoid, and then you can summon back that Decatron, use its effect again because it's not once per turn, and then you can link it away for Promethean Princess and use its effect again when you bring it back as well.
Link Karibo has been activated, and that's...
I was wondering if he was going to use Poplar.
That Link Karibo should go somewhere else.
Because sometimes you can just use Poplar after you already Flameberg. And then you can put Flameberg in the spell trap zone instead.
Link Karibo will help you basically dodge different effects and just establish itself in the chain link and removing the monster off the field.
Indeed it does. Now Tyler sitting on Arvata and IP. I imagine you have to IP here and go after that Snake Eye Ash.
He's running Underworld Goddess.
SP,
it has a back end effect as well.
Yeah, you get to do double removal.
Underworld Goddess seems nice with IP as another like just target.
When all of your opponent's cards do 2 to 3 things. I think this
then he's gonna negate the Snake Eye Ash.
It's incredible. The layers, but it's able to also play through. Oh, okay, never mind.
I love this. Now we're just going to use your opponent's monster as a link material with the under goddess of the closed world.
It's funny too, because if he did that before, he could have just negated Link Karibo's grave effect. And he still would have tributed for cost.
There's 3 effects here. 1, you eat up one of your opponent's monsters. 2, negate the field. 3, the graveyard also gets 1 negate now.
I think I might have to find my Underworld Goddess and throw it into my extra deck. It seems pretty strong here. And also, like, this deck kind of struggles with those...
Not bad versus Jet, either.
Monsters that are unaffected by other cards. Just you have to, like, you can't destroy by card effects, you can't banish it. This is the way you can remove an opponent's monster off the field just by linking it away.
It's also quite neat that Underworld Goddess, you have to target it in order to affect it. Luckily, in this deck, you do have a lot of stuff that target, but in case it does not target, but of course, there's always going to be the Kieran to assist with that.
Indeed. So how will Paulo... Okay, there's still some defensive options in Tyler's hand. That's the toughest part.
When
you're going
he just ashes it.
Full board, and then they have more options on top of that. You see the original...
You didn't even see the mid, bro.
Shows he has the Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Paulo's...
You did not even see the mid.
You're banishing a card. You draw it in your opening hand, your opponent...
Okay, so Paulo goes first, and he starts with Bonfire.
You can set it, and it actually is a
add Snake Eye Ash.
Defensive card as well. If you can just hit something like Snake Eye Ash, Bonfire, Wanted, there's a lot of different options you can hit to cut your opponent off as well.
I love hitting Snake Eye Ash in a mirror match because it turns the effect off, and when it comes back from the graveyard, it's also still turned off.
Definitely, and now we see the Bonfire coming down for Paulo to add Snake Eye Ash. Snake Eye Ash is going to add a level 1 fire, and it's probably going to be Snake Eye's Poplar, but you never know. I know a lot of people play 2 and maybe sometimes side the second one out, but nope, it is going to be Snake Eye's Poplar.
Too good, too good. It is the gift that keeps on giving, pays for its own cost, brings the bill in, and pays for itself.
Indeed, it does. And let's see what he decides that. He does have options, and he's going to choose the Divine Temple of the Snake Eye, which is a...
Yeah, pure, and sometimes even Fire King. Nah, not really. I mean, Ponyx is just so much better than Jet Synchron that you're usually always grabbing original over Divine Temple in Fire King Snake Eye. But in pure Snake Eye, most of the time you're grabbing Divine Temple over original off Poplar. Because it's just like all you really summon off original is Jet anyway.
2 level 1 Pyro, so now he has a little bit of Nibiru protection.
And we're going to be linking that off. Poplar is going to activate within the next chain. If we are going into a monster, that is going to be the IP Masquerena.
All right, so it looks like he's going to go from the more traditional line where you go IP Masquerena. This is susceptible to Nibiru sometimes, but this is kind of cool that since he uses the Poplar to put the Ash in the Snake Eye Ash in particular, not Ash Blossom and Joyous Ring in the spell and trap card zone, he's going to be able to still special summon that back up with the Divine Temple, and he still has to be able to use with the original Sinful Spoils.
Yeah, the only thing is, though, he already used Ash, so it's not like he can go into Oak by sending the Divine Temple if he did get Nibiru.
He's just going to go.
So I definitely don't think Tyler has Nibiru.
The Flamebirds can put the IP Masquerade into the spell and trap card zone.
I mean, I guess Tyler could just be waiting to Nibiru, because it's like, why would you Nibiru? Versus this deck, you can just Nibiru. Because it's like, they don't have a Fire King Island to push after you Nibiru.
Through the Promethean Princess, we're likely going to see the IP Masquerade push to the spell and trap zone. What a wonderful effect.
It's cool. It's a fun interaction.
You know, with the Snake Eye Ash also in the bag, because sometimes you can just summon that as well in case you do lose your copy of IP Masquerena, and then you're going to be able to get additional follow-up, add more cards.
Yeah.
Like, just because you're not able to put an IP Masquerade doesn't mean that there's nothing you can put in the bag.
Definitely. Now this is going to be where, oh no, he's going to link down. Okay, he's going to go into Sunlight Wolf. This means he probably has Birch in his hand.
Okay. We're going to...
Oh, it's the Diabell. Sorry, yeah.
Okay, there it is.
We called that earlier because he didn't go for the original Sinful Spoils. So now he's going to be able to send that Snake Eye Ash to get to another monster. Now he could choose to send the field spell here if he wants to have another monster on the field. And then maybe he has something like an Appaloosa line as well. But he could also still go into Heat Soul. The Link Karibo can come back, and then the Sunlight Wolf is a Cyberus monster. I like making Heat Soul every turn. I mean, I don't know about you, Yu-Gi-Oh, drawing cards.
I love drawing cards. Heart of the cards, just if you have 5 cards, the heart of the cards could just be, a nice drawing logbird to shut your opponent out.
And the more cards you draw, the more heart you have, right?
Yeah. So I've got 6 hearts.
I really believe in the heart of the cards. I'm going to keep on drawing until I win. the classic Yu-Gi way. So he's going
He
to
just
use
has
the
Ash back with
summon
Sunlight Wolf.
the Oak from the deck. The Sunlight Wolf is going to chain to it to add back a fire monster from the graveyard. And then it looks like he's going to chain Link Karibo to take the Oak into the graveyard. The Oak's going to bring back the Ash. The Sunlight Wolf's going to add back the Oak. I was like, why did he chain the Link Karibo there? It's because he wanted to add back the Oak.
Pretty
Oak is a fantastic
cute.
follow. It could just lead to the whole board just completely being rebuilt. It's kind of interesting how Tyler...
So I feel like he's going to go Heat Soul into Eppo. Either that or just Amblo. Yep, he did hold the nib, and that's why it's so punishing versus deck. This deck cannot play... Oh my gosh, he had the cross-out designator. That's crazy.
Going to call Nibiru the...
So that's probably why he played it like this too.
Called it that it could be like one card you side in going first.
Because I was literally wondering, like, why isn't he doing, like, the Black Witch play into, like, Savage Dragon before all this, since he opened Black Witch, but if you have a cross-out designator, you don't even need to.
Let's just see the hands. They're feeding him the information to cast, actually, now.
But that is a huge...
The only thing that's kind of scary is, like, the Nibiru isn't just dead. Like, that cross-out designator didn't actually just answer the Nibiru. Like, there's a huge chance that Tyler will use that Nibiru on his own turn, because this deck, the pure Snake Eye deck, can definitely summon 5 times on your own turn. And, that Nibiru could even be in tandem with, like, a Snake Eye Ash to dodge the Imperm that we know Paulo has in his hand. Probably not because he would Imperm right away, but it's definitely possible that, this Nibiru can help him dodge something. Wow, Tyler's hand is just awful. I definitely think he's losing this game.
Devastating here from Tyler.
The Cosmic Cyclone is probably not going to be very effective here, but we're going to get rid of it because I'm pretty sure that Tyler wants to get rid of the IP Masquerena because that's actual disruption.
If I'm Tyler and I'm looking at this hand, I would still be so thankful that I drew this hand going second instead of first, because, you're kind of slighted to lose games going second. You still can win them. There's plenty of ways to win, but it's definitely in the favor of who goes first. But if you were to draw a hand like this going first and just have to pass with no play...
that's even worse.
Yeah, it's even worse.
That's even worse.
So at least now he has the hope of a top deck, but he's going to need a lot.
Ooh, one thing I noticed is Paulo's actually playing Link Spider in his pure Snake Eye deck.
That just means that Paulo has to be very careful of when he chooses to use a monster effect during the next turn. That negate of Appaloosa could end up backfiring. Yeah. But knowing that Tyler does not have a summonable monster, that is crucial. And also, there's no Fire King Island to destroy.
This is,
Okay.
I mean, Tyler not happy about the card he drew. I don't think there's anything you could draw to really get back in this one. I mean, at least something to prompt the Flamebird into the IP or the Appaloosa. But if Paulo has something as simple as an infinite permanent set, this game is locked up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's assuming
There's too
Tyler
much
drew
reveal.
Snake Eye Ash.
Like the classic crossout designated triple tactics talent, that is a branded Chimera classic,
No, it's
where you
this.
simplify
I think
the
it might be
entire
your
game.
classic.
That's my classic, and you simplify the games to the point that, yeah, I know what, I have 3 cards, he has 3 cards, I can answer everything.
Okay, so he's going set 3 because he just didn't draw any playable card. I'm just going to skip forward because I feel like this isn't the best gameplay. See that he went Oak, summoned Ash, got the Flamebird back. Yeah, didn't do anything and then he lost. Okay, so on to game 3. Alright, and then here we are. Tyler's going first, and he's starting with Bonfire.
This is a big tell, because this is especially susceptible to Droll and Longbird. But are people like going ahead of the games like, oh, Droll and Longbird's not that great, and so I
There's been
chose
a lot
not
of
to
talk
play
of
it.
that.
This is a really interesting format where you can debate on so many cards.
Yep, but he does add Snake Eye Ash, not burning algae just to keep the joke going.
1,000 life
Where's
points.
Nurse Reficule?
So Snake Eye Ash has been summoned onto the field, and that's going to add into the hand Snake Eyes Poplar. Did you know that Snake Eyes
I
Poplar?
know. Yeah, Snake Eyes Poplar, Snake Eyes Flamebird's Dragon, the rest are Snake Eye.
Yeah.
So it's multiple Snake Eye monsters. It's never Snake Eyes monsters.
Yes. Careful with what you write on the deck
Yeah, it
list
makes me
here.
wonder, is there a connection? Is Poplar like a baby Flamebird's Dragon?
Oh,
They're
maybe.
the only Snake Eyes monsters.
We'll
but-
know when this thing gets a lot larger.
I don't know. It's kind of interesting, but I think the reason this is Snake Eye is because it only has 1 eye, and then we see Poplar has 2 eyes, so that's why he's Snake Eyes. Pretty sure that's what it is.
And we're going to be summoning out
Oak.
Oak.
Okay.
Okay, that's a very interesting line.
This means the last time I saw someone do this against me, they had Ponix in their hand.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
How does that end up?
Okay, so the reason you don't do this isn't because like they have Ponix in hand. It's just because you'd rather not summon Link Rebo, and this is only 4 summons. So doing it like this, you get to make a Link 2 that's actually good, like Sunlight Wolf or IP Masquerena, that you wouldn't have been able to make with Link Rebo.
Flamebirds to put a monster in the spell and trap card zone, so you can use original Sinful spells on that card.
I think Tyler wants to enable his Fire King line, but
Another thing that I don't see players do enough is so he's about to Sunlight Wolf his Flameberg back here, or he was going to. If you're gonna do that, usually you should just like not use Poplar's effect and then instead use like Flameberg's effect to put something in the spell trap zone, because you're not gonna summon Flameberg again that turn. So like because it's just like more value, right? So because we use our Flameberg instead of our Poplar, we still have our Poplar effect. We can just special back Poplar off the Flameberg or the Oak, and then we would just like get that monster there with the Flameberg effect. So like in this instance right here, we would still have one in our spell trap zone. We would like, send Poplar, then use Poplar's effect again. Or there's another case where like, if you're going to be able to summon, say like Arvada is your goal off your Promethean Princess, then there's no reason not to use your Flameberg earlier, just to get a free monster in your spell trap zone.
of a monster into the Salamangreat arrow. But what would you even add back? I guess you could add back the Oak into hand to allow the follow-up, similar to how Paulo played it out. But we're going to get the
Ponix.
Ponix.
Okay, well, it's interesting that he went for the Oak. Yeah, this is...
Oh, Oak is interesting, but if you have Oak in the graveyard, when you do, get the Flamberge back onto the field, and you somehow put it back off the field, now you can summon an Oak and an Ash, and then you get a Poplar, and you just get everything back onto the field. You get one additional monster.
Indeed. Yeah, alternatively, if you play the Snake Eyes or Snake Eye Field spell, yeah, this is you do a completely different play in this scenario. This is that play where I'm talking about, where you can do Celine and stuff.
So he is maining citing anti-spell for Floodgate going first.
Advantageous, but the Ponix is going to grab Fire King Island. Maybe he has Sanctuary already in the hand. I mean, assuming the way he did this play, he for sure had some sort of access to the Fire King engine.
This just gets you an extra body too, making the Sunlight Wolf earlier, because now he can destroy whatever fire he adds with Island, and then he gets to special back his Ponix. Assuming he turns this Ponix into like Link Rebo, that makes Heat Soul. I mean, maybe you do that first, honestly.
It all looks kind of the same, and then we look at the side, it's like, oh, this is a completely different playstyle.
Definitely is. Yeah, but this play definitely feels like it plays a little bit harder into Nibiru than some other options that Tyler has access to. But
Well, to be fair, Tyler did get Bell on his Flameberg, so it's kind of hard to play around Nibiru when that happens. Wow, he has Nib. Oh, and Imperm. Oh my gosh, Tyler's actually looking sweet right now.
he's deciding, yeah, destroys a card from the hand
Destroying the Flamber's Dragon.
that he just added back.
Yeah, I believe it can't be used at this point.
Yeah, definitely can't be used.
Garunix effect, we're going to destroy another card.
Yeah, alternatively, he could have destroyed the Ponix, got the Garunix, some of the Garunix, used Arvata to bring back the Ponix, and then link and then link away the Ponix for the Link Karibo. But I guess this way he gets a different monster, an additional monster on the field.
Arvata.
Yeah, and I think he was always doing the Arvada line, so like I said before, I think he definitely should have used the Flameberg.
It is negated, of course, but it's going to also be destroyed during the end phase. I don't think that particular part matters too much unless you want to add the card back into your hand.
It's actually pretty useful if you summon back Kieran with Arvata. You get during the end phase, the Kieran gets destroyed. You get to summon back a different monster. You get to summon back Arvata and destroy a card. That kind of comes up sometimes. More so it came up before Phantom Nightmare was released.
And we have the Promethean Princess, Bestower of Flames, Link summoned onto the field, and that's going to bring back the Arvata. Arvata now has been summoned onto the field.
Unfortunate, Paulo didn't have Nibiru. It would have been huge here.
Paulo's got
One thing that's kind of interesting to think about is, like, would you rather have Promethean Princess summon or Flameberg 2 bodies? I feel like it's always correct to just do it on the Flameberg, though, because they could make Aplo, theoretically, and then your Bell's just dead to Appo.
you down.
Just like the original Garunix, definitely better off.
Bell and Nib and Imperm? Oh my god.
Other monsters destroyed, then it comes out.
Yeah, there's just no way Tyler's losing this game with Bell, Imperm, Nib, Arvada, like Amblo. He doesn't even lose to Talents. Like,
So yeah, since he summoned it off Arvata, he's going to be able to return the Ponix to the hand.
It does get destroyed. We do have Garunix in the graveyard. We have the Promethean Princess also in the graveyard.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways to get to this end board. Tyler, I think, chose kind of a route that ran as fast as he possibly could into Nibiru, but unfortunately that didn't happen.
The Rock couldn't keep up.
Yeah, the rock wasn't there, so he still has an established board here as well.
So much in the graveyard. Wonder how this is gonna play out here. Fire King Island, a bit difficult. Draw phase, we are going to see Wanted.
Yep, Draw and Lockbird can only be used in every phase but the draw phase. So sometimes, usually if your first action is going to be summon Diabell Star, you can
Ghost Bell. Remember, Wanted can add back from the graveyard, and therefore the Ghost Bell is allowed to negate it here.
Definitely Wanted and Flameber's Dragon. Big reason why Ghost Bell and Haunted
yeah, I think that Bell was worth.
rising in popularity recently.
Now, note
And
that
Promethean Princess. too.
Yeah.
A lot of
Because it's like really only if he opened original, that's the only way he's going to be able to access it, because we have Arvada. Like, this Arvada is just going to be so strong.
just managing your resources there. Do you need everything? Now, the one thing about Paulo is
Like, we have the Imperm too to stop anything. Yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah, the Imperm on any normal summon here is going to be insane.
Divine Temple of the Snake Eye.
I'm telling you, Fire King players out there, try it out. Try this.
Then a lot of the time, Divine Temple feels like a +1. I mean, you could argue it might be good here because we have the Nib, but I would definitely rather that Divine Temple just be any other card, because I feel like the Imperm and Arvada are just going to be able to deal with anything we do, and we won't even have to use our Promethean Princess or our Nib.
A little later, so these players still have some more time in this game.
This is a tight situation.
Only 4 minutes left.
Very, very tight situation here. We have one of the best things about the Arvada negate is that this does not destroy the card. I think that's very crucial. You don't set off, a chain explosion of cards.
Usually a bad thing, but it's sometimes a good thing when you're worried about having like all these other card effects activate.
Poplar has been.
Oh, wow, he opened original.
The graveyard
No
has.
effect?
Because he didn't
No
use
effect
Popular
on there.
effects.
Probably has
I'm pretty
original
sure.
in the hand already.
Oh, that's unfortunate. You know, you're not getting maximum resources, not seeing.
So he opened Divine Temple and Original.
Poplar, putting
Kinda rough.
Poplar into the spawn trap zone.
But his Original will be able... I think it's
Definitely
actually
would
good
want
he
an
opened Original
but
here with
wants
his
it in the
Wanted.
graveyard, so he has it as well. So he's going to use it here on the Poplar.
No
Does
Ash.
Tyler have anything? Doesn't look like it.
Like, Imperm here is
Another thing I
probably
think,
just
so when you use
wraps.
Nibiru, you lose all your fire monsters, so you won't be able to use Promethean Princess afterwards. But if you can get Snake Eyes Flamebirds on your field, and you use your Nibiru on your own Flamebirds Dragon, you clear out their board, and you get your fire monsters back, so you still have that Promethean Princess follow-up as well.
That's
We're not
right.
going to see that here, but that's something to consider.
Yeah, and because Paulo's playing Pure, he can't even do something cool like Chain Kieran. The most broken shit. But, I mean, he would have Arvada for that anyway. Oh, and you can still Bonfire for the Poplar because he actually didn't... He normal summoned the Poplar this turn.
You want to add from your deck to your hand instead of draw, but Bonfire is going to add a Pyro. He's already summoned Poplar
3
from
minutes.
the hand, I believe, right? So... Oh, no,
No,
he
it
hasn't.
has not.
Okay.
No, I think that was the.
Feel like Dogwood looking nice right now.
Poplar, okay, but you get to do each effect per turn, so Poplar is going to come down.
Oh boy.
Paulo with...
I mean, this is the timing where I love to play Bonfire. This is like, oh, most of the cards are gone. The things that I would, test out.
Yeah, I like
Ash
Arvada
Blossom
and
test,
Poplar
that's
here
going
for
through too,
sure.
so this is gonna go through likely when I add it to my hand.
So Tyler decides to negate the Arvada, keep him from getting another monster on the field, but doesn't use Amblowell to summon back.
Yo, Talon's take
No,
here
he
goes so
doesn't.
hard.
No, he does not summon it back. But Amblowell without a link monster will not have any further interaction.
So now Want is going to draw a card.
But yo, this amount of time,
This is difficult.
literally this amount of time makes it so hard to play correct for Tyler. Like, it just sucks. I hate time so much because Tyler just like wins no matter what here. But because of time, like he has a chance to lose. Like, it's crazy.
Card represents so much in terms of interaction.
But that's maybe why he should have scooped game 2. I don't know if they're not allowed to scoop in this format, but I definitely would have tried to scoop game 2. Maybe if you can't scoop, you just start cosmicking your own shit because he had cosmic, right? So like, so you just make it like like clear to Paulo that you lose.
And it's the disruption during your opponent's turn, and your hand is also a big interaction during your opponent's turn. So like you never know all the points of interruptions you can actually have, which is so cool.
And one more thing, your opponent's graveyard is also your hand.
Give me that.
We're sharing a deck.
Whoa, this princess is so scary. Now we can't activate our Nibiru.
No, the Hito was summoned, and now Tyler's gonna use Princess.
So I think we're gonna do that play I talked about in my other video where we just destroy our Promethean Princess with our Kieran, and then we use Amblowell and Grave, so that way we can still Nibiru.
Arvada destruction.
And then it's going to activate Garunix, so...
And that's going to activate the effect of the Temple. Temple's going to push the Oak onto the field because the Princess was summoned out. So many triggers, so many lines.
There's no reason to rush anymore. I mean, like, it's definitely going to just be first damage at this point. There's only 30 seconds left. I would just take my time to think.
Void.
You see, Tyler, normally some of your monsters are in defense mode, so they can't crash their monsters in.
Yeah, you can also just summon everything you want in defense, like I said, because now you can, we're going to just destroy our Promethean Princess anyway.
So
But I wonder, they're running really low on time here. It's very dangerous.
Yep. Now he still has Garunix effect and Oak effect.
Everyone's just activating effects. What would Oak bring back?
Yeah, the worst part is we still have our Snake Eye Ash, so no matter what, I think Paulo's going to be able to summon Flameberg here.
Is it right?
It could be dangerous. You could see some surprises.
I hope not.
Oh yeah, you definitely don't want to be the one surprised.
Oh, I thought
Maybe
it
one of
did.
our judges
I thought
has a
there was
tattoo of a
something.
monster on his leg. That might be a surprise.
Okay.
You legally could summon
Oh no.
the Ruinix from the Avada and then the Onyx.
However,
Yeah.
this
so
is.
it would just be the. But this would
I
be.
guess they're trying to resolve what's happening on the
Arvada
summon there.
Yeah. So this wouldn't get destroyed, and it would stay like this.
Okay, extreme caught up, but
Do we get any?
continuing like nothing happened. Alright, so he actually messed up with his chain links, so Arvada special the Garunix, so now the Garunix is going to be negated. And technically he activated the Garunix, so he can no longer use the Garunix for the rest of the turn. So now it looks like Paulo's gonna win the game. like when he definitely shouldn't. Like he had Bell, Imperm, Nib. Like how is Tyler losing right now? This is crazy. All Paulo has to do is not get rid of this Promethean Princess so that Tyler can't Nibiru. So it's just over. Like we literally can just go Hida. Or well, we can't go Hida anymore. We can just go Dark Charmer, right? Like.
With both players winning one game apiece, it's going to be a draw.
Oh, I forgot. It's just Swiss. This isn't like top cut. Oh, so of course it's gonna be a draw. Paulo didn't attack. Wow, that sucks, man. Dogwood would have came up. Yo, hashtag Dogwood. Hashtag Dogwood life, bro. That's round 3. See you next time in round 4. Peace, duelist.